I think he speaks for a lot of the Dodgers and how they feel. I think this is a situation where you don't want to play ex-girlfriend, or you don't want to play new girlfriend and somebody's still looking at the old girlfriend, right? So I think that's more the case here. I don't think he meant any malintent with it, but I think he just wants there to be an understanding of this team is just as special as that Braves team that you were just on. But also, I still look at this situation being, I think we have to celebrate a guy that showed emotion over a long time, right? Like, we don't get to see this very often, and I felt like we can celebrate that. It's not something that's going to happen forever. It's something that you don't really see at all. So let's be reminded that these are human beings out there playing on the field. This guy was invested with the Atlanta Braves, not only the team, but the community as well. So I look at that. That has to be celebrated. And the Dodgers know that it was tough for him. And hopefully now this can allow him to move on as well.
I'm completely with you. And this idea that, like, we don't often see exactly this thing, and that's a reason to enjoy it, because there's so many different ways for a baseball career to go, and for, you know what I mean? Like, guys have all different kinds of careers. They're journeymen who make it to the bigs at the end of their 20s, or they get called up when they're 19 and stay with their whole team, their career, or something. Like, it's all different. I love that variety, and I think in the, when he first signed with the Dodgers and when we were sort of going through spring training in the beginning of the season, there was all this talk about, like, is it good? Is it bad? Can Matt Olson replace him? And it's like, it's neither good nor bad. It is just, like, really special to get to see a player who is so comfortable emoting, going through the experience and letting us all in on the experience of what this very specific, particular baseball career feels like to him. It's, he just won. The Dodgers are a very special team. They did not just win Freddie Freeman a ring, so I think he's got a soft spot for them, and he always will, and I think that's beautiful.
And it hasn't affected the way that he's played.
Exactly.
He's still putting up his normal average numbers. He's still doing his thing. It'd be a different story if the guy wasn't doing what he's used to doing, and he's still showing so much emotion toward the last team.
Still came through last night.
Yeah.
Still came through last night when they needed him. I love Freddie Freeman. And like you said, this is real. He's transparent. This is a guy who won a World Series for Atlanta. That's where he grew up. Like, that's where he became a man and a ball player and an all-star. So a couple months later, he's with the Dodgers. He's not over it yet. He shouldn't be over it. He got to go back home. And I understand Clayton Kershaw, right? He's a guy that's only been in a Dodgers uniform. So he's like, hey, it's pretty decent over here in LA. But you got to understand, like, Freddie's going to be real like that. He's got an attachment to Atlanta and those fans. And I love seeing this. When we were on the show Friday, I said, this is going to be emotional. This is going to be so emotional. And it was. There were, fans with the split jersey. Most of them gave him a standing ovation. And, of course, you can't control fans. Some people booed. But I like that Freddie isn't taking the tough guy approach, like, yeah, I'm out of here. Or, yeah, I'm getting money. I'm getting more money now. Like, he's being real. Like, I won a World Series in Atlanta. I still feel for a lot of, of my teammates, people in the organization, and the fans, and he shows it. But maybe this will be the thing, right, for him to move ahead and say, okay, I'm a Dodger now, and, that's in the past, and we're going forward, and we're trying to win.
Yeah. I think the fact that I'll let you go. I think the fact that we saw it 3 days in a row is the emotions that we haven't really seen. I think that rubs some people the wrong way too, right? If you're a supporter of the Dodgers, you're like, wait a minute, why is this keep going on over and over and over? But that's like what he said.
Page, I guess.
Yeah, turn the page. But that's the real raw emotion that's happening. And you look at different fans are coming into the stands every single game for Atlanta. So they get to celebrate it in a different way as well. It's not the same fans going every single day.
Yeah, it's very true. And I think it just, even a deeper level to your point, I think true courage lies in vulnerability. And I think it's good to normalize men in particular showing emotion. It's okay, especially athletes, where I think it's such like a toxic culture when it comes to like masculinity. So
he
good
probably
for you,
thought
Freddie.
he was going to be a
genuine.
Brave forever.
It was real. Yeah. He absolutely
did. I think that's the emotion that you see is he still thought he was going to be a Brave.
Am I really back, like, as a Dodger doing this?
And I think that's what it was. Is like it was really hitting him that it's done. Like that's what was hitting him.
And so often we hear guys say, "Oh, I know it's a business. I know it's a," you know what I mean? Like so often you say, oh, you want to sign there in the off season, and they'll say, well, it's a business, we'll talk. Like, but it's also literally their lives. And I want to know, as a person who emotionally invests in the outcome of these games, that at least the people who are out there are also emotionally investing in it. And I thought that was, yeah. Also, there was an announcer who said, the broadcaster said something where he was like, this is probably more than Freddie's cried in years. And I was like, you don't know that. Maybe Freddie cries all the time.
Yeah,
maybe he cries at a movie, and that's fun.
That's his release. It very well could be. Yeah.